This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I told you I wanted to talk about something because doing a little homework and the importance of certain things that need to happen in order for you to have success. And we've talked about it here on the show. So part of the problem with Flo was that he couldn't build a staff. Most of his guys were from like high school or college. Okay? And if they had any NFL experience, it was barely any NFL experience. And they might have only been like quality control coaches before they got elevated and they got here. Okay? Which is not the worst thing to be it's not bad being a quality control coach, but you weren't necessarily a successful position coach that you elevated, in other words. So, you go look at the playoffs. And yeah, you've got your established staffs, right? I don't need to look at Belichick's staff or Andy Reid, older coaches like that have been in the playoffs, that kind of stuff. That not a big deal, right? But Nick Sirianni, Philadelphia, they snuck in, right? So Sirianni is a young coach. Well, he has Jeff Stoutland as one of his coaches. Been in the league for over 10 years. He's the run game coordinator and O-line coach. Joe Panunzio was here also. Also in the league for a long time. Assistant special teams coordinator. And Shane Steichen, who also worked with Nick, but he's been 10 years as a OC, worked with Phillip Rivers, all of that. So he brought in a couple of experienced coaches to help him out, right? And he's got a bunch of young guys too on the staff, but he's got some experience. Zach Taylor is in the playoffs, right? Bengals. So they've got Brian Callahan, who's the OC, and 12 years in the league. Lou Anarumo. Remember Lou Anarumo? Here in he was here with Miami. Defensive coordinator, 10 years. Darren Simmons is Simmons, yes, is his special teams coach. 19 years in the league. 41 years of experience, Zach Taylor, added to the roster. Guys that he can lean on because he's a young guy. The Bills, Shane McDermott. Now, he's been in the league now for a couple of years as a coach over there. But he's got Brian Daboll, who's a candidate to be head coach. That tells you he's a good head coach because his assistant is up to be a head coach. Ken Dorsey, Leslie Frazier. Oh, my God. Isn't he on the list for the Dolphins also? Okay. Bob Babich, linebacker coach, been in the league for a long time. Rob Brooms, tight ends. John Butler, the D-backs coach. All these guys been in the league for a long time. Arizona's in the playoffs. Cliff Kingsbury. Vance Joseph is his defensive coordinator. The guy's been a head coach and is up for head coaching, candidate. Brenston Buckner, former longtime player, D-line coach, been a D-line coach for a while. Worked under Ron Rivera. Bill Davis, linebackers coach, 26 years in the league. Jerry Sullivan, wide receivers coach, was here in Miami. I know him, 26 years. James Saxon, running back. Us old guys know who James Saxon is. Been a running backs coach forever. Sean Jefferson, former receiver and receivers coach, was here in Miami, 16 years. Jeff Rogers, the assistant head coach, special teams, long time. Flo failed in every area. And by the way, I don't know what host was talking about building a staff for months now. I'm not sure. Before everybody else talking about, you notice how this whole thing is developed, right? Okay, first of all, everybody's blaming the talent. And what was I blaming? The coaching. What did it end up being? The coaching, not the talent. For months, I said, you got the wrong coach. He needs to get fired. By the end of the year, he gets fired. Meanwhile, everybody else is confused, thinking he was safe. Just saying. You got to do your homework. And you got to be able to build a staff. I mean, that's just, it's everything. Not only, and remember what I've said over and over again, it's not just building a staff, it's building multiple staffs. Because you're Sean McDermott, you're about to lose Brian Dable. But he's super smart because he's got Ken Dorsey waiting. So who do you think? Not only I hate this, by the way. I got to give the Bills credit. So their coach is smart enough to have his OC and his OC in the waiting. Meanwhile, you had a coach that couldn't find one OC. So you had to find the three amigos to argue with each other every 40 seconds on what play is going to be run. Come on.